has always been a great friend to me, and I couldn't own up to being a terrible friend to her when I wrote my apology. I've neglected Bao the same as a lot of other friends of mine, but more than the others in my closest circle. There was so much I couldn't explain my apology about what happened between Red and I over Bao that's all presented below. Because of Red's resentment towards her after he thought she went out of her way to sabotage us at the end of last year, she became a sore topic between us. My partner's opinion of my friend pressured me to treat her differently to avoid any conflict between us. I never tried to talk to Bao about it because I didn't agree with Red to begin with, and I didn't want to start any drama between us. I was ignorant to the way she felt isolated from me and our other friends earlier this year. She was hurting and I didn't do anything about it. I'm sorry to her for never addressing the problem when I could have, and I'm sorry I made her feel unwanted. I knew Bao had a model planned with Nano. She showed it to me at WeebCon in March of last year. I also knew that the model was cancelled in August before she told me and her friends. I was told that Nano chose to cancel Bao's model so she could focus on her own content. I have no reason to ask to read Red's messages myself when this happened. When Bao messaged me and our friends, I felt bad that I already knew about it. I saw how excited she was about this model, but I didn't do anything to try and help her. I think she's talking about that Discord message where Bao says Smoj, Nanoless had to drop me as a client, and Sinder didn't respond. I was under the impression that this was what Nano wanted, and I've always been on Nano's side about what she chose to work on. As far as I was aware, Bao didn't have any plans with Nano for a model again after that. I didn't know it was ever replanned or that Red brought Bao up to Nano in their exclusivity deal in January. I did not and do not agree with what he said about Bao to her then. Bao was recovering from surgery when she was told one of her closest friends betrayed her. I don't know what she was shown or told by Nano and Shaila Lee or our other friends involved when she made her decision to make everything public, but I believe she was misinformed. I wish she would have talked to me first, but I don't hold that against her. I never talked to her when I knew Red had a problem with her and I was neglecting her, so I didn't deserve that courtesy back. Bao was encouraged to reveal my relationship with Red in her document, but she didn't, and I appreciate her choosing not to say anything about it before I did. Bao was one of the first people who genuinely inspired me to become a VTuber in 2020. I was lucky enough to become her friend and get to know her. She works extremely hard on everything she does, especially her music. With how much bullshit she's been through, she's one of the strongest people I've ever met. Bao is the kind of person who will always have her friends back. I'm sorry that I didn't do the same for her, for never being the friend she deserved me to be. This is Red's comment. I'm sorry to Bao. I completely misjudged her character, jumped to conclusion, and made a mistake that not only hurt her with Nano, but continued to hurt her because of my influence on Sinder's actions toward her for months afterward. I'm ashamed of the way I felt about someone who's only been a supportive friend to us. I was too immature to look past my personal resentment toward her to talk to her about the things that made me feel that way in the first place. I went out of my way to get even with someone and take an opportunity away from them who had only hurt us in my own headcanon. I also want to apologize to Bao for reassuring Nano it was okay to cancel her model last August. I was only considering Nano's feelings and how it would affect us and not Bao. I'm sorry. Below we've laid out anything Ren and I have experienced with or related to Bao that are relevant to everything that's happened. This includes conversation for our mutual video editor, Red's conversation with Nano about Bao's model, our real life experiences in the production of Bus Rush music video with Sakamore, leading up to what Red told Nano in her exclusivity deal. I don't know if it's a true apology, because shouldn't the page have ended there then? Like, we fucked up and then move on, but then there's 99 pages following this, so they're gonna excuse stuff, no? The first time Red asked our video editor about working with us exclusively was a couple weeks after we saw that they had worked with Bao. Initially, I took them working with Bao personally when I shouldn't have. I thought it must have been because my content wasn't good enough or as good as Bao's. In this case, I thought it could be that I wasn't paying them enough, so they were looking for other work. I was upset, but not at her. She was my friend. Red wanted them to have the time to do more for us in general, so he wanted to ask them about becoming exclusive for that reason. Red also asked how much they'd be looking to be paid for exclusively. They turned him down and it wasn't a problem. We were both satisfied with the response and accepted their decision. I got over my insecurity and was happy they were supporting my friend with her content. It was only over our shared video editor that I ever saw Bao as any kind of competition, but it didn't affect how I treated her. I mean, it's already weird that you see her as a competition, not gonna lie. Even with other people that do the same kind of content as me, and we've shared editors and stuff like that. I've never saw them as competition. That's such a crazy notion to me. I have such a bad opinion of Red at this point. Like, my opinion of Red is in the gutter right now. In my apology, I said, yes, Red and I were initially upset when Bao hired my editor, and I took it personally when I shouldn't have. I felt as if maybe my content wasn't good enough or like I wasn't paying enough for his work, but I accepted it and was happy for him for getting that bag and supporting one of my friends at the time. Okay, real talk, Red says. How much work would we need to give you, or how much monthly income in order for you to make enough from us to be our exclusive editor? And is that even something you'd be interested in? We've been thinking about asking since we do want to take on some Tashi work and the possibility of making more Sinder content. He responds, sorry for taking so long to respond, I'm just thinking. He says, dude, I've seen you typing for like an hour now. I'm low-key having a panic attack, being like, well, this is where we part ways, rip. Red, this is stressful. I'm sorry, take your time, not think about me. He says, as much as I like editing for you guys, I don't think I would want to be entirely exclusive because I do like working with other people too. I already do prioritize you guys when it comes to accepting other comms since they're selective. So if you guys want me to take on more Tachi and Sinder work, you'll still be priority. Also, I want to ask was if I could charge the normal $20 for short now instead of the discounted $8 we did like October last year. Something that I've been thinking about for a bit is being paid for helpful manage the YouTube channel, since I've kind of just been charging for editing the videos and not the thumbnails, uploading, and community posts. Sorry for taking so long. Oh wow, he does community posts too. That's a lot. And thumbnails. Wait, he does all that for $8? Wow, okay. Finding out about Bao's model, Red asked Nano about her current projects like he often would. Hey Nano, do you have a lot of models lined up? Quite a few. Is it for the project? Also need feedback on the outfit change, so I might change the toggles too. No, not for the project. I was just wondering. I know you were working on Redacted, Name, and Silver, and one of our mythic contacts said you would be working one of their clients soon. I'll go get the feedback now. She's showing them her work stuff. He says, oof. My oof reaction in the screenshot was due to the number of projects she had on her to-do list, not about who was on it. This was the first time I had seen Nano would be working with Bao on a model. He always makes her feel like she's taking on too much work. But this is pretty much one comm every month, which means I can always put Cinder stuff in between easy. He says, okay, do you know what kind of model Bao wanted from you yet? Like, is it a normal whale or is there a team? Why does he need to know that? And I thought you were talking to Redacted about a model. She wants a big mommy Bao, like Redacted. I was about to say, not the Bao berry, so like a lore outfit. I mean, maybe it's a good thing we ended up reaching out to another artist about a model of how many you'll be doing. Red says, I was asking questions about Bao's design here to find out if it would be compatible with Boss Rush team like a lore outfit. Boss Rush was only an idea between me and Cinder at the time, but he knew what the concept would eventually be, just not who would be included. Later in the conversation, Bao was mentioned again. With Hedgehog Spikes, they do this dancing session every day is so loud. But I mean, if you want to clear up your schedule for more work with us, I'm not going to stop you. Yeah, thinking on cleaning the most later ones. Red says, I don't know for sure right now, but I think you maybe should keep Bao. Big maybe. And that's all I'll say. Oh yeah, I really want to work with Bao. Are you designing Baos? Not sure, we didn't get into specific yet since it's planned for June. After Nano said she was rethinking her wait list, I said I won't stop her if she wanted to make more time for us. She responded saying she was thinking about getting rid of the later ones. I thought Nano should keep Bao on her list because she was Cinder's friend, but I didn't want to take a solid stance on it if Nano was thinking about removing her herself. Nano said here she really wanted to work with Bao. Nano told me Bao's model was planned for June. Do you think it would be best for us to have Bao's model done sooner or around June is okay? I don't really know at the moment. We're working on the winter model now and finishing the gamer sub art. Then the next thing might be the webcon thing if we get to the okay with it. Then we gotta talk to GamerSup about Cinder's next product launch, so there's no plan for that right now. Then Cinder did want to do a 2.0 pirate bikini model, and then 2.0 model updates, and then the game project, which is still in the idea phase, so I can't give you any work for that right now. And there's always just more artwork for streams, for posting spicy art, or maybe spicy comic. Maybe have it done sooner, so whatever happens later, I'll be open for it. Nano asked me when she should have Bao's model done, nowhere do I say she should cancel it. Nano suggested she may get it done sooner than June. WeebCon 2024. At WeebCon is where Bao showed us her new model design Nano was working on for her. The She-Wolf cover song. Bao messaged Reg about doing a cover of She-Wolf with me for her Halloween cover album. This was the first and only time she went to Red in their DMs to plan something with me. She first told Red this song would be a duet. Okay, so here's the start of Red's and Bao's DMs. Bao, I have a question. Is Sinder familiar with singing in Japanese? Red says no. Okay, noted. She could have definitely tried, but I mean, I wouldn't bank on it working out. Bao says, Niall, it's all good. For Halloween, I'm singing a cover album and was asking around to see who wanted to be a part of it. Would Sinder be down to sing a duet of She-Wolf with me? Red says she's streaming, but I'll ask her. She says by Shakira. Okay, word. I'll be super flexible. We could change the key. She doesn't have to sing any line she doesn't feel confident in, etc. She messaged Red again later, not telling him that Numi was involved. Red asked me about this, and he told Bao that I said I was down to do it. I also said she could have just messaged me about this, and I don't know why she didn't. Red asked her to clarify if it would be just the two of us, like she said, or three of us now, but Bao never responded. Actually, JK, the producer, said he couldn't take my commission right now. Lamau, do you mind asking Sinder if she's down sometime soon? If not, let me know so I can let Numi know. It'll just be us two. I think she's down. She said you could have just messaged her. One, is the song just you and her, or is Numi doing it too, from what your last message said? Or is Numi doing a different song with you? I know it's super early, but do you have a release date in mind since it'll be for Halloween? Are we doing any kind of MV or promo art, or will it just be the song? And just curious, how many songs are you planning for this album? 3 days later, Bao messaged me to add me into her project server for the song. That was the first thing she said to me about it. Red never told me Bao said anything about Numi's inclusion in the 3 days since, and only told me it'd be a duet when talking to me about it. Numi being included wasn't a problem at all, and the three of us did the cover together. Come in here. It's a server link. We planned She-Wolf in here. It's just you, me, and Numi. Wait, I thought it was just the two of us. Maybe Red didn't tell me everything. Bruh, it's you, me, and Numi. I told Red that if you didn't want to join, then it'll just be me and Numi instead. Oh, he told me you said it was a duet. I was just confused. I just thought it would be cute if the three of us did it, because Numi has her kitty form and I want my puppy form and you are a wolf. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is 17/19/2024. Bao's model cancellation is between 7/23/2024 to 8/6/2024. These are Rem's DM with Nano leading up to when she cancelled Bao's model. Red asked Nano if she knew when Bao's model was going to debut so we could plan our schedule around it like we've done in the past with other people she's worked with. It was the end of July and he thought her model was already finished. The last time Nano had mentioned it to him was in November and she told him she planned to have it done in June. We saw the design at WeebCon in March when Bao showed us. Thank you, Nano. I'll let you know if she asks for anything else. Oh, I wanted to ask you if you knew around when Bao was planning to debut her model from you. She planned it from Valentine's. Thanks. Just want to check on your schedule for the Angel model. Do you have any ideas for the 3.0 release date? At the earliest, April next year, but probably May, June. Angel will be late November or December this year. Dates are good then. Do you know when you're starting the Angel art? Oh, art? Probably right after model is done. Oh no, I meant model, like the art for the model. Angel Cinder's book for start in October. Anything cool you working on lately? Barda name favorite art model starting this week. You're doing a redacted model? No. So Cinder's Angel model was booked for October. I was also excited for what I thought was a model she was making for someone else. I'm not sure what the point of this entire screenshot is, really. It's got nothing to do with Bao. It's them talking about the Angel art for the fucking 100th time. I'm starting to lose my patience. Nano, could you give me an updated PNGs of these with all the fixes you've done? It's no rush. Okay, I'm not take any comments from that form. I feel like I want to be more into VTubing. No one cool applied. Oh, this is this conversation again. I think you should do this, especially in Brazil where there's in a big market. And then she says she wants to move on with her own brand, but I'll work with Sinder until she dumps me. Nano told me she didn't want to take anyone from her public comms form so she can do more streaming herself, saying she wanted to move on with her own brand and work with Sinder until we chose not to anymore. I encouraged her and offered her my help. Again, this wasn't the word for word. This wasn't the Nano less document. Maybe not word for word, but he did like a very similar explanation. What is the point of putting this again? You have any tips on popping the bubble? We've read this. This was also in the last segment. Anyone you can, she's got a queue of, she says she's got a, he says you didn't get any cool ones from the form. She says I got a few cool ones. He's asking if she can share. And then he says, oh, there don't seem like big names. Oh, nice. She's like, there's some cool people that applied. He's like, oh, can you share who the names are? And he's like, oh, I'm surprised there wasn't any bigger names that applied. What the fuck is this, like, passive aggressive jab? Like you mean what it takes for small, this is another convo. He gives her some content creation tips. And then he adds, what I can say is that as long as you're still drawing for Sinder, I don't mind helping you with advice and plans and stuff. He'll message me asking for some guidance and said he wants to help you out more too if he can. So cute. But like I said, I still will work with Sinder until she dumps me. Until she dumps me, it'll be working forever. I'm doomed. I love it. Honestly, I would cancel my next models if I didn't feel already so committed to them. How many models do you have in the works? I got 3. There are people I'm interested, so I don't want to cancel with them. I just gotta recover from the cold. Is one of those the angel model? No, but don't worry, it's all very well calculated. By the way, the angel model would be a skin on a 2.0. Red says, Naono brings up the idea of canceling models after expressing she wanted to do her own thing and that she honestly would if she didn't feel committed to them. Oh, there's like 4 models, I think. Redacted names is to debut around October. I have no idea for the other ones. Is that Bao too? Red asks. She says, I didn't start Bao yet. Oh no, this is this screenshot. Red says, so 4 models that haven't debuted and 3 you still need to do, not included redacted name. Nano's like, yeah. He gives her some reaction emoji. I swear these are my last models for a while, crying emote. He says, okay, we'll find a new mama. She says, I'll kill myself in front of Sinder. Red says, I asked about Bao being one of the Finnish models that hadn't debuted yet because I wasn't under the impression Bao was already done. Nano told me her model wasn't even started. Me saying to her that we'll find a new mama for being busy was a joke, like earlier in the conversation when I joked about firing her. I think it would be soon. I don't have a model to work with quite often. Actually, I was thinking of doing a proper debut for the model. Just tell chat to pretend I never saw the model before. Okay, well, I'm gonna have the same conclusion as when I read this yesterday. So I'm just gonna say it now. It's so crazy that Redacted puts these screenshots here to try to defend himself and say that nonetheless came to the conclusion to cancel Bao's model on her own when it's really right after she speaks to Red that suddenly she decides to cancel Bao's models. And then people will claim that it's got nothing to do. There's no like cause consequence. It's not related. It's all disjointed. Then he says, I'm not telling you to cancel her model, but it sounds like that'd be the best for what you want to do. I'm not telling you to cancel, but I think it's the best idea that you do cancel. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. Is Bao the last of the 3 you still have? Yeah, I got redacted name 2, which I'm considering to cancel too. The other one I can't cancel because I set it to start right now. But I think I'll keep her. Out of nowhere, Nano asked me, do you think Bao would kill me if I cancel with her? Is this guy thinks we're not reading the conversation. And by the way, this is also copy-pasted from the last section. This guy really thinks we have no memory. It's insulting to our intelligence. It's insulting to everybody here. It's not out of nowhere. You just spent 3 pages making her feel like she had too much work on her plate. Like, it's not all unrelated. I told Nano I thought she would do what was best for her. That less model work meant she could do what she wanted to sooner. Red asked Nano if she decided to cancel any model project like they had talked about before. He did not name anyone. Hey Nano, do you know if you're able to start the heavy hound outfit earlier or not? Also, just wondering if you decided to cancel any other model projects. Yeah, is he manipulating us? Yeah, checked with the other clients and can't delay them. Didn't cancel anything yet. Actually, give me another moment. Oh yes, this is when he asked her 3 times if she's canceled the other projects. Yeah, checked with the other clients, can delay them. Didn't cancel anything yet. Need some more things for the summer model. Okay. This entire segment is copy-pasted from his previous segment. There were unrelated messages about my own project that we're talking about in these. She says, give me a moment after he asked her, did you cancel yet? Didn't cancel anything, she says, give me another moment. And then later on, he presses her again. Did you cancel again? Did you check on this? But Red's defense here is that he didn't name any specific name. I bumped Nano again 6 hours later and she said someone was replying to her now. And then he asked again, did you cancel the models? It's 3 times now. Another 20 minutes later, he says he's joking, of course. Nano arc delayed to 2026. That's a joke too, but not really. Then she says, I'm scared to cancel with Bao, showing hesitancy. But he is quick to reassure her. He says you shouldn't be scared to cancel with Bao. She has so many connections. She'll find someone super fast. Did you already design her outfit? I remember her showing it to us at WeebCon. Yeah, I can give her the design for free as an apology gift. And he's like, no, why would you do that? You should at least charge her half price. Yada yada yada. We've read that one a million times. Okay, this is also a duplicate wall of text. And then he's like, you should close your form quietly. I mean, TBH, Red was probably right on this one. I don't know why she's opening her form if she's gonna complain about too much work. Nano said she was able to start on Sinder's model Angel right away, when earlier she said it wasn't able to and had planned to start in October. Okay, this is still all copy-paste from the last session. Later that night, Red told me Nano was going to cancel Bao's model because she wanted to stream more. He said he would help her out. Basically, Sinder says that she wasn't aware of what Red told Nano, really. He just told her that she was canceling because she wanted to work on her own content. The second time Red asked our video editor about becoming exclusive was after our other editor had stepped down from working with us on August 5th. Instead of finding a replacement, we wanted to see if they could have the time to fill the gap in content left behind, plus any extra video they'd be available to make for us. Red offered them a raise, but they turned him down and we moved on. This had nothing to do with Bao. Redacted says, okay, side thing, Sinder and I have been talking about you. Considering our predicament, we'd like to make you an offer. So we lost Redacted name and now we need shorts, and even with Redacted helping out, there's the problem of consistency. So anyway, we'd like to offer you bar.number a month to be our exclusive editor, pick up those extra shorts, maybe do more clips and the occasional midweek videos, which you've already been doing. And it's okay to decline, we won't be mad, and you can think about it for a while, no worries. There's no deadline. I was about to go back to sleep after you sent this so I can respond in the morning, but then I got anxious about not responding, so I'm at my PC now. Red says you can go to sleep. I appreciate the offer, but I'm gonna decline on it. I def agree that we need more shorts for consistency, so while I'm looking for a short editor, I can do 2 shorts a week on top of the 3 that Redacted will be doing. I think the main issues is getting at least 5 clips that work for short format every week. So something I've been thinking about is 1, changing the post rule in the Sinder clip channel in the Discord to include what streams the clip is from and the context of the clip. 2, really push for Twitch clips to be named. There's so many people at Clip Sinder thanking them for their resub and it's not named. Last solo collab with Bao. This was the day after my last one-on-one collab with Bao. She had asked me to make clay animals together on 8/3/2024. That's actually a cute collab idea. And it took us 3 weeks to get materials delivered and finally schedule it. We ended up making VTuber mascots. I was happy Bao wanted to do something artsy together since I already did my own crafting streams and I wasn't able to do a handcam crafting collab with other VTubers very often. Bao says, hello, can we do a handcam stream where we make clay animals together? She says, I'm so bad at sculpting them out, but that sounds like it could be fun. Bao releases her original song, Natural Disaster, featuring our other friend alongside her. Red says, this event is here because of what I watched Bao say on her stream, either on the day the song was released or something in a couple weeks before then. She was talking about how difficult, frustrating, and time-consuming it was to work with inexperienced singers on music project, and that she would rather work with V-singers from now on, who know what they're doing, can match her high skill level. These were her closest friends she was talking about. Live on stream, I couldn't find an archive of this stream anywhere to prove this happened either. What I remember is how it made me think Bao viewed her friends and how I felt about it. Why is this here? Nani desu ka? At the same time, and his source is Trust Me Bro, by the way. At the same time, Bao knew me and I were working on our She-Wolf cover. Red told me this and it made me anxious about the song, and I felt like I had a lot of pressure on me to do well. I barely had any singing experience and I wasn't anywhere near Bao's level, but she asked me to be a part of this and I wanted to do my best for her. And it's like really shitty that he put this in after he's like pretending to apologize at the beginning. This part could have made it without Red's commentary and just have Sinder say, Red said he spotted Bao mentioned this on one of her stream. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if this was, if he misheard or anything, but I remember that this made me feel anxious and I wanted to do my best for her for the cover. That's it. TwitchCon 2024. There's 3 things that happened at TwitchCon last year that further formed the opinion I had of Bao. Okay, this is Red talking right now. 1. The first night there, Sinder, her friends, and I went out to dinner somewhere nice. Bao was supposed to be there with us, but never showed up. It was a fair chance. The close friends had to see each other in months, in person and away from work, and she blew them off. Everyone present was talking about her not being there. One of our friends was telling us that they were working on a song with Bao, and Bao asked about them having a music video to go with it. The song this friend was making with Sinder at the time was planned to have a music video, but they weren't planning on having one for the song with Bao. They said that Bao got upset with them, guilt-tripping them over their decision about their own content. This reinforces what I had told Nano about Bao. The last night before everyone went home, the friends were planning to go to dinner. I ended up getting sick and stayed behind in the group chat while they were figuring out where to eat. Bao said that she wanted to go somewhere fancy and she wasn't going. This was the last night everyone was together, but there were still caveats. She had to just spend time with her friends. Neither Sinder or I have access to this group chat anymore. At a party at TwitchCon was where we met Sacramore, Bao's video editor. He came to me and said he'd love to work together and make a music video for me, which is why Red would ask him to make one for Boss Rush. Dude, this section is so fucking schizo. Like, Red is like, I don't know why Red is making the point that he had a bad opinion of Bao. Why does he gotta explain to us where it came from when it's no evidence, like, oh, other people were shit-talking Bao and I believe them. That doesn't make you look good, first of all. Second of all, there's no evidence. And third of all, just say you had a bad opinion of Bao and you messed up. Like, now, it's like he's building up the point of she's not a good person, which doesn't make his apology feel genuine. Or make me believe that he's changed. Or not even that he's changed, that he's remorseful. This doesn't not sound like the kind of person Bao is. It doesn't. Since this is the first time Sacramore has been mentioned, here's his document for reference. Sacramore is one of the people that also put out a Google Doc to support Bao's. Red reaches out to Sac after TwitchCon about a music video project, which was the one for Boss Rush song. They discussed it over the next week, but Sac couldn't fit it in his schedule at the time. You wouldn't happen to be available for an MV in a week or two, would you? I'm completely full every day this month. For earliest I can do is November 9th. Just check and take ya. I'm 100% down for another date. Sorry to bother, but you all know the exact date, since I could try working something out to fit in it if y'all want by the 22nd-ish. Okay, it's alright if y'all know in 2-3 days. This month it's done me busy. We're trying to get Bao's album / original done. Sure. Thanks. Will you let you know ASAP once I chat with Bobber? Hey Red, thanks for waiting. So I've been trying to figure out if there was any feasible way I could slide Sinder into my schedule this month, but between moving and my new apartment this week and the Halloween album, I think November 9th is the very earliest I could start. I'm very sorry, but if there's any project after this date, I'll lock you in. How long does it usually take for you to edit an MV? He says this one took 3 days. Okay, cool, just for a ref. But depends on complexity, and Landfed Optim will be a little over a week or two, I guess, for Rush. How would you feel about me giving you everything for the MV now, work on it in between your other projects, and have it to me by the end of October? Zach responds, I really would love to be able to squeeze in y'all, and absolutely would if I could, but I generally don't have any free days until November 9th in the earliest. This month and start of November is literally just an ass beating for my schedule. And he says, okay, thanks though, Zach, you're missing out on a good one. There's 2 things that happened during our trip to Japan with our friend last year. Bao got mad at another one of our friends for something that happened at a restaurant with a rude owner. She got pissed and yelled at and belittled our friend when they did nothing wrong. They confided in Sinder and I afterwards and were very upset over it, but it was fine because they said that's just how Bao is. Everyone got together for what we called our Canadian Thanksgiving dinner. It was the last night. All of the friends would be together, just like TwitchCon, and again, Bao never showed up. She said she was on her way, and sometime later she said, never mind, she's not coming. We all were aware this was the last time we'd all see each other until 2025. Yeah, but why didn't she come? Is it because she decided to hang out with somebody else, or is it because she's not feeling well, and she's depressed and she wants to stay at home? Because if somebody's depressed, then I'll understand it more. But if it's like, because she doesn't think there's enough clout on the table, and she'd rather go to a party, then obviously that's gonna change my opinion of this. Yeah, maybe she just didn't want to because she's in like a hermit. After TwitchCon in Japan, I was pretty convinced about how I thought Bao viewed and valued her friends outside of making content together. Bro, she flew to Numi's concert because you guys cancelled on her. Wasn't it like after a surgery or something? And it was like an express ticket too? I experienced these things in Japan and at TwitchCon too, and I was put off by them in a moment, but I didn't think about them beyond what they happened. This is Cinder's commentary. She also went to TCU that year, by the way, to hang out with her friends. Yeah, I think they should have done one paragraph apologizing to Bao and called it a day. I think it would have been better PR for them. After getting back from Japan, Red messaged again about Boss Rush music video since the planned release date was pushed back again. These are all of their DMs over the course of the music video production. including the conclusion. When was it you were free again? Things have been pushed back a lot. Zach says November 9th was the last MV for Bao until like the first week of December, I think, when Cinder's coming out now. He says when it's ready. Lamau, to BH, I'll probably start on it a day or two after I wrap up the Bao's MV in that case. This song has a lot of typography. Is that something you're good with? Says, can I hear it? So not worried, just so I can get an idea. Is it English or GB? English. Typography is one of my stronger points. I feel like I'm 100% comfortable with it. Holy 9 minutes? He says, this isn't the song, just a reference. He says, oh, lots of animated text with different fonts. But yeah, that's fine. It's just one still image she's using for artwork. He says, no, I can send you more details in a week or two. He says, that should be good. Just hit me up when you got more info. And I'm super down. Hey Red, Bao's song got pushed back, so I can start Sinder as soon as I get the assets and things if you're all still down. He says, are you available? Sorry for getting back to you so late. Oh wow, okay, did it? This is late. This is 12 days after. All good, I'm still 100% down to do it. I would be able to start like first or second week of December or like mid-December release if that's okay. He says we were hoping end of November release, so the end of that month, but they're already the 12th, so they got like 2 weeks to make it happen and a couple change day. Zach says, oh yeah, that'd be impossible for me. Giga full at the moment for like 7 other vids this month. Like I said, I'm still super down to do it and really hope to be able to work with Sinder on the next video. But my schedule is always super packed, fully planned weeks and months ahead with not much wiggle room. So just let me know what y'all would like to do or feeling. He says, what if we pay you double? He says, can I hear the song or demo? He says, fine, I'll leak hers, but it's top secret. He says, I offered to pay double for Zach work because I knew it'd be a tight deadline, and I was desperate for help. Zach was 1 or 2 music video editors we knew, and the others wouldn't have been able to pull off this video in this time frame. Zach music video always come out great, and this project needed to be the best it could. My lips are sealed. It's an original song. This is an earlier version of it with the placeholder vocals and a couple outdated lyrics. The final version is being worked on with the new vocals. I'll cook. Song's a banger. Sounds like blah blah is doing the audio. When can you have it to us by then? I can set all the assets my direction and the lyric changes tonight. I'll start on it on the 16th. 17 the latest. I don't know exact date when I'll be done since I'ma just have to giga grind on it. I'd say the absolute deadline is like the 27th after any edits changes Sinder may ask for. He says, oh yeah, I'll be done by then. He says maybe the 28th. I want to have it done at the 25th the latest. He says redact the name, can get it uploaded the night before, but 24th is my goal. 24, 25 would be perfect since I have Bao original song due on the 30th. I can send the invoice to redact the name whenever, we'll get paid ASAP. Alright, it's fine. If I do it after the video is done, help me stay motivated. Lol, sure, no problem. He messages him with the drive with the assets. All good. Can I get the credit list while I'm thinking about it? He says, in general, we wanted to do something similar to this league rap video with the lyrics on screen next to each of them during their parts and the reference stylized like the game, franchise they're from. I'll send the lyrics, what reference is where, and more in depth of shot by shot we were thinking. Sounds like Asteroid Money doing the audio, right? Sinder, Tricky, Vienna vocals, and barred out names. Alright, sounds good. Hey Red, just checking it to see if I could get a draft mix of the song with Sinder, Tricky, and Vienna vocal as well as an updated lyric sheet so I can start working on it as soon as possible. Red says we'll get everything I have for you today. I only have a draft mix with Sinder and Tricky at the moment. Tricky's vocal may be changed. That works for now, as long as it's like the same realm of similarity to the final, since I will go ahead and start on Cinder's part. There's also a couple more animated variants I'm waiting on. No stress, appreciate it. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Here's the latest mix I have. And for this specifically, it's the group art background itself and the 3 girls separated from it. Here's the lyrics. So we want to start with the group shot of them panning up in silhouette with glowing eyes, which we'd like as a separate teaser video if possible. Then each of them will be solo during the respective verse on their own background. They also have multiple variants to change to halfway through their verses or something. Cinder has her standard pose, but also her hands with fireballs. The choruses would be the group art of all of them together. You can keep the camera close to their upper bodies, don't need to have the full art in frame, and you can have fun with the camera. We want to go heavy on the text editing like the league song ref I sent, where the video game reference of lyrics I have their font edited like the game logos, and beyond that, just fun edits on the text to make the lyrics interesting to watch. I don't know, these are our ideas, have fun with it. Also, the song's name is my name and the group is Boss Rush. I'll get you that animated stuff as soon as I have it, and if there's anything else you need, let me know. Sounds good, Zach responds. I got some brainstorm ideas, and we'll hop on this early tomorrow and send y'all something in about a little over a week. Hopefully, Lamau, since this one's is going to be really complex. Red messages him again to inform him that the group animation are updated in the drive folder. Zach says, sounds good. Finished most of the 3D modeling and MoGraph assets yesterday, this morning, and we'll be finishing up intro today, as well as hopefully making some good progress on the first verse. Thanks, Zach. Can you send a whip too to show Sinder? Waiting to see if there'll be any edits. He says, I have an idea, most of the rest of the edit and most of the assets made. Leaning into the video game team, my general plan is for each verse to be representative of a level. Sinder level 1, Hell, Tricky level 2, and Vienna level 3. Also ignore the audio slow thing, that's just AI running out of RAM while screen recording. Also, I displayed a half quality for performance with the full quality be 4K. Red asks if he needs a higher quality version of the logo. Can you keep the art unflipped? For instance, Cinder's design isn't symmetrical, so at the very end the flipped image looks wrong. Yeah, I'll unflip. He says, I don't really think the higher quality P will be noticeable. You know what Cinder says? I'm putting my bussy into this one. Cinder says, holy shit. I was gonna say, lol, this is gonna be so good. Show the girls. I'm gonna cry. Red says, also I noticed you're keeping the shots of them literally up at their faces. You can pull the shots out a bit more and have the zoom be more varied throughout the song. There's a lot to each art piece to see. We trust the vision. Yeah, I'll be more varied pose and stuff when I have viewers make. I don't see the point of showcasing all the artistic back and forth here. I won't lie. And I don't think this will pay off neither. But we're reading through it just in case there is something in there. When I have viewers make eye contact with them like the girls are looking down on them as powerful mythical beasts, but I'll switch up to body shots as each of their verses progress. You have my word, I will not disappoint you. Got a lot more things to show for sure. Exactly, just didn't want you to feel limited to that, since that's what I said. Red said, just realized that the Google Doc is missing that Cinder line, despair and breakdown. It's a reference to a Danganronpa. Also, the group files were updated to fix a small art error. Okie dokie, I'll make a note to change it out before I render it. Could you make the teaser video too, Zach? And one of the chorus to post with the release? Yeah, are y'all wanting to just use the intro for a teaser? And yeah, once I finish the video, I'll render out the chorus as a separate for post. Red says, I think that'd be okay. Maybe without the credit text though. Zach says, like the song and group name? Right, the song and group name, and the Cinder, Tricky, Vienna, and yours, and redacted name credits. Just for the teaser. I'm gonna see about getting you into the music without the Cinder at the end so it can cut better into the teaser. Zach says, sounds good. Once I finish Cinder's verse and the chorus, a big chunk of the video is done, since Tricky's won't take much time from how I imagine it, and Vienna's will have a couple parts that will be time consuming, but couple chill parts should have Cinder's finishing up in like 2 days, a day and a half though. Red responds, I'll have more music for you soon. He sends him 2 files. Zach says, when do you want the teaser, since I'll render them on a day before I go to bed? Red says, probably by the end of Sunday, Monday morning. Zach says, I shall be done. He says, thank you, buddy. I need some water. I don't know where's Bao in all of this, but I guess like Zach released his own Google Doc. In that Google Doc, I think he said like that, going from memory, that they had sent him the assets late and they had asked for a teaser, even though that wasn't discussed preemptively, but he still managed to get everything done on time, even though they were short on time in the first place, and the teaser done. And yet when Cinder went live, she kind of like threw him under the bus. So maybe this is a defense against that. Red says, hey Zach, there's going to be a merch dropping with this. I want to ask if you could put a 10-second ad image at the end of the MV with the instrumental or something. Could have redacted name, re-enter the MV with the ad included too. Zach says, yeah, that's fine. I can do that, sends the Google Drive link. Also, here's the intro render with different audio and credits overlay taking off for Twitter. Just a heads up though, I'm going to have a few delayed as there was a semi-unexpected family member passing 2 days ago and I'm going to be going home for 2 days to be with family. I should still be able to have it to you all before the end of the month, but just wanted to let y'all know. If you all would like a bit of a discount for the delay though, let me know. At least he's offering a discount. Unlike Nanoless, who probably pieced out with the fucking rigging refund, That sad guy seems very professional. I can tell from the way he is expressing himself and the communication. Red says, oh damn, I'm sorry to hear that, Zach. I hope you're doing okay. Do you think by the end of the 28th is possible? Zach says, not sure, probably the 29th or super early the 30th. I'll make sure revisions are turned around a few hours after I get them so they'll be ready to post. Red says, we were planning for the 29th at 3 p.m. EST for it to go live because we have some merch launching with it at that time. Zach says, I'll try my best to make it happen. We appreciate it, thank you, Zach. No worries, brother. Can you send me the P files for the merch? Instrumental for the ending, still waiting on PNGs, and just an ad image. Also, we'll have the final mix soon. I think this is the final mix, waiting on the full consensus. Nope, thank you. Started Vienna's verse today, so we need to make the leak cinematic. Mograph for her, and ending 3D section, and I'll be able to send it. Can confirm this is a final version, merch renders, and logo for the ending. So he sends him that on the 27th. The video is due on the 29th. Available until 12/12. Zach says thanks. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks you for the grinding. Happy Thanksgiving. No stress, man. Hope you'll like rendering Cinder's verse. This is just her verse. Is no longer rendered in the whole She Will video. Oh wow, it's complex. Yeah, MVs are very PC heavy. Low-key thinking I'm gonna get a new one though. That's probably a good idea, considering we might sign you up again. Or y'all hate it and y'all unfriend block me. We'll see what happens. They're exchanging some gifts. Reference for the merch part if you needed it. Thank you. I'll replace the background with the video super duper blurred and an audio and extend it to 10 seconds if that's fine. He says you have creative control. How's it coming, Zach? I'm almost afraid to ask. He says it'll be done on time. It's one day before. 11 a.m. tomorrow, Vienna's part only has 63 and half hours left. What does that mean? Zach says not tricky. It took literally an hour and Vienna will be less. What did you do to Cinder's part then? Jesus. It's something with my PC. Like Cinder is the most complex by a lot, but no shot it takes that long. Red says, gotta fund that UPC. Zach says, I did cook the fuck out of Cinder's part though. These does look good. My PC can't handle my MVs after Bao music video album training arc. He sends him the final file at 10 a.m. on the 29th. The video is supposed to go live at 3 p.m. EST, according to Red. Red is like, you did nuts. Everyone loves it. If there's any times to make any edits to it, then he gives him a bunch of edits to do. And also, do you have a trailer? Vienna just had the idea today of 3 small trailers of a small part of each of their verse 2. But if there's no time for that, it's okay. Red says, it's okay if you fell asleep. We'll ball with what we got. Thank you. Zach responds, I can change a few things, prob. Are you sure? I'm so sorry for the VTuber project curse. Yeah, we still have 3 hours. Red says 2.5. Zach says, I probably can't change much on Vienna TBH, but I'll do what I can with all the notes. Red says the last 2 bullets are the most important one. The first 2 can be ignored for crunching. Zach says, I didn't want to say this to freak you out last night, but when I sent Cinder's render time of 40 hours, I still had to do Vienna's entire verse. He says, oh my god, I'm so sorry the VTuber project cursed. Next one will be planned and scheduled way in advance. No worries, everyone's end up happy, it's all good. Let me know what you're able to do. I'll get a chorus black and white change. Tricky's eye color oopsie fixed for sure. Zach reassures Red. He says, it went pretty smooth TBH, everything considered. Next time we're all together at a con something, you should ask Bao about a bunch of redacted words. And we were both redacted words. Oh, trust me, I've heard. Lamau. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. Zach sends the Google Drive. Chorus color change plus tricky eye fix. Chorus trailer for Twitter. Individual trailers also for Twitter. So he ended up making 3 individual trailers on top of another trailer. He ended up adding the merch too and doing the last minute edits. Thank you, Zach. Crunch time is real. He's sending this at 1:58 p.m. so 1 hour before the video is supposed to go live. You can send invoice together, okie dokie. Hope that everyone loves it and goes to the moon with views. Tell all the girls I'm really honored to have gotten to work on a project and they did an amazing job. Zach, can you edit the invoice to not require an address? Oh yeah, sorry about that. Let me know if that's fixed. All paid. Y'all the best. Redacted will have another project for you soonish. Okay, not that soon, but still. Thank you again for your work on this one. Remember, skip Thanksgiving with his family for this. Wow. Hi, Cass. Bao's comments on Bus Rush song. My new music group Bus Rush premiered our first song at the end of November. Red and I were going through the comments and we both saw Bao's. He didn't want me to like hers, so I gave in just to satisfy him. At the end of the day, it was just a comment. Goddamn, they ate. Those are my girls, holy. Wait, he didn't want Sinder to like the comment? He is so controlling. Red adds here, after the past few months, I had a pretty solid opinion of how I thought Bao viewed her friend, so I told Sinder she shouldn't like it. I was persistent about it, so she listened to me. It was very petty of me towards a friend showing support. Okay, I really don't like Red. And, if he's that persistent with his partner, like that gives me the eeks, man. Group chat with Bao. Sometimes in between these dates, Bao started a group chat with both Fred and I. We were both removed from this group, so we don't have access to what was said. As far as we remember, we wanted to do something together. Red was adamant to me about not wanting to plan anything with her at that time, so we didn't. Bao's never messaged us like this before, and this was right after Boss Rush popped off with another 2 friends involved. I wasn't opposed of doing things with her completely, but the timing was suspicious to me after the past few experiences with her, and I saw this as her trying to gain something from us, so I brushed her off. What stood out to me is that she addressed Sinder specifically as the lead singer of Boss Rush. 11 days after the music video was finished and released, Red messaged Zach about another project in February. He said he was working exclusively with Bao going forward. In my apology, I said, and yes, I was also upset with when Zach, the Boss Rush MV editor, had told us that he won't be able to work on any future project with us and would instead be working exclusively for Bao. But Red got it in his head that it was Bao's fault that it happened and seemingly held a grudge against her for it. He was very passionate about Boss Rush and the potential future projects around it. But he told me without an MV editor as talented as Zach, the future projects wouldn't reach the same height, so he created this headcanon that's laid out in those DMs. Red says, do you want to do an MV for February? Zach says, hey brother, I'm sorry, but after January 2nd, I'm closing down all my comms indefinitely and going completely in-house for Bao. He says, I thought you were down to do more. TBH, I really wanted to, and it's generally very hard for me to say no. I also feel awful about saying no, but I also do have other things in life I need to prioritize since the path I'm currently on does not get me to the goals I actually want to achieve as a content creator. It's more just personal things and my own goals I need to prioritize. Red says the last time I spoke to Zach, he said he was honored to be part of Boss Rush project and was looking forward to the next music video together. Everyone loved the video he made and it was already nearing 500,000 views. I didn't know Zach well, so I had no real basis to know how he actually felt, but I just couldn't understand his decision coming out of nowhere. Who the fuck does that though? Who the fuck acts upon speculations and headcanon? Actually, I know a few people that do that, but they are lolcows or schizos. And I guess Red falls into that category too. I thought you were like, I wouldn't act on something unless I had like definitive proof. I thought you were down to do more. All right, well, let Sinder know. She's pretty upset and disappointed, but it is what it is, I guess. Okay, Mr. Guilt Trip. Understandable, and I'm very sorry to be the one to cause those feelings. But I also need to do what's best for me this year, and I definitely wish y'all the best in the future, and we'll be cheering y'all from the sideline for sure. Thanks, Ed. Godspeed. Cinder wanted me to ask, is there any goals our project can help you with? She's just confused about why it's so hard for you to turn down more projects when you enjoyed the last one and it did so well. Dude, I bet Redacted told Cinder, yo, Bao stole that guy from us and that's why she's upset and disappointed. Like, I don't believe that Red told her, like, the real story. Yeah, I thought he wanted to do more. Yeah, fuck that. So Zach responds, I appreciate you asking, but not really. There's not really a point in me just doing freelance anymore since the only growth on it now is just scaling my prices to stupidly high rates, but I don't care about money that much. I need to focus on building my own platforms, community. I want to see the next stages of growth for myself. I'm going in-house with Bao because she has been my day one and supported. She took a chance on me when I was a literal nobody, living in basically poverty, and I want to do whatever I can do to repay her kindness and how much she's done for me. So I'd like to focus on her success as my client friend. And I'm also doing it because I want to take the option away from me of working with other people. So I actually have to be serious about reaching my own personal goals with my content. Oh, he says, I'm not sure what you mean by your personal content if you're just working with Bao. I mean, this kind of came out of nowhere since you seem pretty eager to work with Sinder at TwitchCon. And even after the last project, especially since it did numbers. But if that's how you feel, then we won't try to change your mind and respect your decision. Dude, the way Red talks, there is such a pattern between how he talks to Nano and how he's speaking to Zach here. This is not just a one-time occurrence. This is constant. This is his MO. Red, as we were messaging, I was going back and forth talking to Cinder about this, which is why there's gaps in time in my response to Zach. By the end of our conversation, I was suspicious of his reasoning. This guy stinks. Right after this, Red messaged our video editor about music video editors and what happened with Zach. They're close with and works with Bao and her other editor, including Zach. Red says, do you know any MV editors besides Sack? I don't know any others personally. Cinder's like, sad emoji. Okay, was GW. What happened to, redacted name? Nothing, we can still contact him. Redacted words. I guess Sack is only working with Bao going forward, even though he was excited to do more after this last MV. And now we gotta find someone new. Why did he have to add that detail in, even though he was excited? Sinder adds, Boss Rush did crazy numbers and we want to keep up the high expectations for the next one. Not saying you need to go look for some editor, I was just asking if you knew off the top of your head. This other person responds, I know he's been wanting to make his own videos for the past years, but got caught up with doing lots of editing work, so I guess he's really waiting to focus on it moving forward. So he's just confirming, this person's confirming what Sack said. He says, I guess so. Our video editor gave me the same reasoning, Sack's decision, as he did, and I should have taken it as a fact by then, but I didn't, and still thought something else must have happened. Sack told me he was going exclusive with Bao because of his own content and goals, and he wanted to prioritize in his position as a VTuber video editor for a significant amount of time. I just didn't understand his vague reasoning or what content and community he was talking about. This was just 11 days after Bus Rush premiered. But isn't it the same reasoning that he was pushing onto Nano to start her new content? It was this message from Sack that made me suspicious of what his actual reason was for going exclusive with Bao. He only said all of this after he was pushed about his decision, and this was only days after Sinder and I turned down Bao in that group chat where she called Sinder the lead singer of Boss Rush. He is so paranoid. Because of my experience with Bao over the past few months, I had a confirmation bias. I convinced myself Sack was doing this because Bao must have guilt-tripped and convinced him not to work with anyone other than her, including Boss Rush. Yes, because you would do that. And I was mad that this wasn't even just against Sinder and I, but Tricky and Vienna too, who I cared about as much as Sinder did. Oh, boo fucking who. I'm sure you do. I'm sorry, I really don't like that guy. He gives me all kind of like creep vibes. Another thing that hasn't been mentioned up to this point is what Bao thought of her own music throughout last year. She would talk publicly in her Discord server about how depressed she was about her own songs and how nothing she did was performing well, and guilt-tripping her fans about not liking them. Oh my god, is this just like an entire paragraph of shit-talking Bao? Not liking them or listening to them due to the low view counts, ignoring their supportive messages like it meant nothing to her because the numbers didn't reflect them. She wanted to quit making music entirely because she thought her songs performed so poorly. The only songs of her from last year that I could imagine she considered successful were Miss RGB, Natural Disaster, and the She-Wolf cover, all of which included her friends. When I told Nano that Bao's songs flopped, I was referring to how Bao thought of them, implying that I thought it was motivation for her to do what I was telling Nano. Oh, well, excuse me. I didn't read that meaning through your text. When you said about the MV thing, Bao had original songs last year that had MVs by her editor and the songs flopped. Music that had dozens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of views wasn't good enough for Bao. Although I didn't elaborate on any of that to Nano, in my own opinion, all of her songs performed fine, if not great. I don't know why she needed views to validate music she made if it was something she enjoyed doing in the first place. I know how this reasoning sounds when you just look at what my messages to Nano said and doesn't look good on me. Yeah, you're right, it doesn't look good. I feel like he doesn't even believe his own advice because they're the kind of people that always want more and more and more. We were banned from Bao's Discord server, so I don't have any evidence to show this happening. I don't know if Bao's message about this still exists, but I know there's plenty of Bao bubble buddies out there who will remember this. Bao's TMJ she talked about in her document had nothing to do with anything I said to Nano and wasn't something I even considered. Another similar instance I remember happening in Bao's server was on Cinder's birthday last year when her, Bao, and their friends were playing Jackbox game together. Cinder was streaming and invited them all to play, and Bao was streaming her at first but abruptly ended it not long after starting. I checked her Discord server to see if anyone knew what happened. Bao was chatting in a public channel saying her CCV was too low to keep streaming and no one cared about watching her. Her community was trying to encourage and support her, but I remember she replied to a fan saying something like, "Stop fucking talking," and telling them all that nothing she did mattered. This is how she was talking directly to her fans supporting her, and while in a collab on her friend's birthday, of all days. More concerned about her numbers rather than having a good time together. I don't know if these images still exist either, but about her music wasn't the only time that she'd berate herself in her server and guilt trip her fans about it. It's a toxic trait against herself. but I don't see how that is relevant in your defense, Red. And it actually looks even worse that he's bringing up all of this stuff and unearthing all this stuff on Bao that has nothing to do with him, and there is zero proof. There is zero proof. One thing I found while putting this document together was this tweet from Bao earlier this year that indirectly supports the above. Bao said she was struggling with an unhealthy work-life balance like us. She wasn't enjoying content creation, implying she was too focused on the numbers, and what she did was never enough for her. So in this post, Bao is talking about how she had to learn a hard lesson about work-life balance because last year when she sang, she talked until her jaw fell off and had to start physical therapy and get bi-monthly trigger point injections just to be able to chew food properly. Chronic pain, constant migraines, life hit me fast. At some point, the fear of falling behind and being forgotten outweighed all of the joy and fulfillment I was supposed to feel as a content creator. It was a really bad cycle of going way too hard, having to take a break, rinse and repeat, and never really feeling like I was getting anywhere, and if I did, it wasn't enough. I saw my family a grand total of 2 times last year and barely called home. Kept telling myself I'd call back, but I had more missed calls from my parents than callbacks. It's really scary coming home and seeing my parents get visibly older. I felt like I was constantly running out of time with every aspect of my life when in reality, I just had to reevaluate how to be an actual human being again instead of a machine. I don't know why I almost started crying here. But good news, I'm a gym girly now and I tried to phone home twice a week and I think creatine is slept on for girls. Anyway, thanks for reading. She also spoke about her job pain in his tweet that she mentioned in her document. This was not something I had ever considered and had nothing to do with my opinion or actions towards her. In late 2024, I was dealing with debilitating TMG pain that resulted in me having to drain fluid from my jaw joints to open my mouth properly. They both knew this.
Sure, there were times before this I thought Bao could be whiny or pushy, but I never held anything against her before. I was convinced she was selfish, only cared about her friends when clout was involved, and had intentionally screwed us over out of jealousy of her friend's success. Things that were never a problem to me, like her working with our same video editor for the past year and a half, suddenly became an issue. Everything I saw over these few months showed a pattern of behavior that led to this happening. I thought I was crazy for being the only one to see it, with all her friends always giving her behavior a pass because that's just how Bao is. I couldn't possibly think her editor just decided to go exclusive with Bao right after Boss Rush just because he wanted to, and Bao had no involvement in his choice. It was completely unbelievable to me that someone would just do that themselves with the way this perfect storm of events lined up. If there was a greater explanation or reasoning behind these events, and Bao's actions, I never knew about them. I formed my opinion on what I did know and experience, like anyone else would. It wasn't founded on jealousy of Bao, and I wasn't just making things up to lie to Nano about her for no reason. But at the same time, I never sought out the truth and never talked to Bao about it. I was mad at her and already decided what she did. I thought that if I did bring it up she'd just lie about it and it wouldn't matter. 07 Wands balls.
He sounds so schizo when he says that, I formed my opinion on what I did know and experience. You didn't experience anything with her. This is form your opinion on your own headcanon. It wasn't founded on jealousy. Be so fucking real right now.
I had thoroughly brainwashed myself into thinking there was no way this wasn't the case, but as I now know, I was wrong. I misinterpreted the situation and misjudged Bao's intentions due to my confirmation bias, going as far as to disregard every positive interaction I had with Bao, or any of the good things I've seen her do. Just to fit this narrative, I jumped to conclusions, and doubled down without ever trying to find out if this was really true or not. But with every little thing that happened, I was so sure that this must have been the case and I held it against Bao. It was stupid and immature of me, and Bao didn't deserve the way I thought about her, or my actions that followed.
Yes.
And Bao did know about the music video Sak was working on for us. I was wrong. While going through my messages for this document, he said as much to me when I first asked him about doing the music video. From the time he said that and then became exclusive it had been over 2 months. We'd gone to Japan, and I handled conversations with lots of other people every day. I forgot about it and thought Bao was unaware of him working with us. There was no conversation at the TwitchCon party we were at that I can remember Bao being a part of while talking to Sak specifically about working together. She was there talking to us at different points, but not at the same time as that.
Also, I'm not sure what they're on about with Bao not knowing about me working with them, since I asked Bao with Sinder and Red standing right next to me at TwitchCon if it was fine, since I had agreed to do all the Halloween album, but would probably miss one of the songs, and she had no problem with it at all. So we have to, it's like Sack's word against this, and Sack, thanks, we'll let you know ASAP if I once chat with Bobber. Is Bobber Bao? So he's, I don't understand. What's this screenshot supposed to showcase? Isn't this showcasing that Sack spoke to Bao about this? I feel like the voices that I've been trying to use are getting worse and worse. Alright, let's do Red's apology with the Aditi voice.
I want to say I'm sorry to Sack for the pressure I put him under while working on our music video, and overworking him during the holidays with what he was experiencing at the time. If I had things better planned and finished sooner, there wouldn't have been such a time crunch. I also want to apologize for the hostility in my messages to him when he told me he was closing his commissions. It was his choice to do so, and I shouldn't have distrusted him.
Oh, great! I did not expect that. I can't breathe. I did not expect that. They're getting less clear and clear, dude.
Red came up with his theory about Bao and brought it to me. This was a verbal conversation, so I have no evidence of it, only of the events around it. I didn't believe Bao would pressure her editor just to hurt us. I was upset about not being able to work with Sack again too, but I told him we'd just have to find a new editor. When confronted with her actions over the past few times we saw her, I said they weren't a big deal. Red was persistent and went through his evidence over and over, until I got mad too. I caved on the YouTube comment, and I understood what he was saying to me, but I didn't agree with his conclusion.
Yeah, Red sources, it came to me in a delusion. This voice is not bad. Because I'm running out of voice, that's why. And I'll read the screenshots anyway.
I was already stressed out because of my new model debut in 3 days, and I was hosting the Vtuber Awards pre-show the day before that. That's where my Fansly announcement would also be, and another thing I was nervous about doing at all. Now Red was telling me he knew one of my friends had purposely done this to me. I defiantly told him it wasn't true and to get over it. Red told me to ask Bao about it, but I told him to since he was the one with the problem. I had a collab on another friend's channel the next day that included Bao. Red wanted me to cancel it last minute because she was involved, after I had already made an announcement about it in my Discord server earlier.
This is her Discord server message. I'm doing Christmas Confession collab on Censored Name channel tomorrow with Censored Name and Bao. I don't like this voice. It's too nasally. So, Joanna, you're fired.
I didn't want to hear it, got upset, and just went to bed from the stress of everything, because of our fight. I was asleep and missed the Okami sequel announcement. I tweeted about it when I woke up.
Okay. Is the ooh voice. It does fit Red so well. This is the one? Alright.
Neither of us ever talked to Belle about any of this. Even after just days earlier she had started a group chat with us both. It's my fault for never trying to clear things up when I had the chance.
Oh, it is
I just wanted this to go away and keep the peace between me and my friends. In my apology I said, I wasn't convinced this was the case, but it's my fault for never speaking with Belle about these things directly to clear things up, and letting it spiral to the point it got to. I'm sorry for not reaching out sooner about these ideas that were put into my head. I wish we would have been able to talk about this, too.
And this is Red.
Red, regardless of how I personally felt about Bao now, I was still friendly with her the couple times I talked to her afterwards. She was still Cinder's friend. I asked Bao for advice about something work-related in December, and the last time I spoke to her was at the end of the year when her, Sinder, and their friends were dealing with something else going on. Getting even with Bao wasn't something I ever thought about doing until the opportunity came up when going to Nano about exclusivity.
Wasn't that literally what I was saying yesterday? Wait, wasn't that literally what I said yesterday? Dude, he just admitted to it. Wait, and somebody in chat said this was a bad faith interpretation? He just admitted to it! He never thought about it until the opportunity came up when going to Nano about exclusivity. And she offered to cancel the Bao model. Yeah, Your Honor, I didn't think about it to...
Honoro can read this into the 1000th page.
Yeah. Your Honor, I didn't think about it until I did it. That's going to be a killer defense when you murder somebody.
I was at my friend's collab the next day with Bao. Bao messaged me afterwards apologizing for something that happened on stream. I didn't see her message right away because of everything I had going on that weekend. I replied after the VP show was over. I thought about saying something to Bao about what Red told me, but I didn't. I didn't want to start anything over what I believed to be nothing in the first place, and I had a hard time talking about things in general. I trusted Bao. I was still mad at Red, and my new debut was the next day.
So here it's a DM conversation between Bao and Sinder. Bao says, I'm really sorry I spaced out at the end. I was like, the lights were on and no one was home. I promise I would never ever forget you or your music. I was running purely on fumes for the duration of the stream today. I also hope I didn't talk over you too much. I know Redacted name yelled at me for it, so I started being more aware of it. So I'm sorry, please forgive me. Cinder responds a day later. Sorry, been so busy with awards and debut, but don't worry, oh my god, collabs can be really socially draining for me, so I zone out sometimes too. No, you're totally fine. Thank God. I'm watching right now. I voted for you in every category. Also, Fansly Sweep. Wait, let me send you something useful. I got recommended this
Red
website.
Don't teach MK about it as he naturally does it.
Yeah, pretty much. You must. I got recommended this website that, censored name, and they've been so crazy fast about doing it. I'm just gonna slide you my referral link, but generally really do recommend this if it gets too out of hand like me. I appreciate it. I wonder if it's about, Fansly images being leaked and stuff. As they say, they've been so crazy fast about it. I don't know if it's about DMCAing or what. Next set of DMs between artist number 1 and Bao. Artist number 1 told Red that they're working with Bao now. Artist number 1, since you got the Fansly out now, I'll try to finish the bikini after my Bao project and before redacted name. Redacted, you have Bao project now. Artist number 1, mayhaps, paywall stuff though. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere if that's a concern. No, it's not that. It's just not the first time Bao's picked up one of our regular people we work with. I'm glad you're getting that bag. Artist number 1 says it was actually censored name that referred me. She had no idea who I was before, I think. Artist number 1 says talking about your editor, lol. Red says our editor is one, but not the only one.
Artist number 1 told me they were working with Bao now. This was only a few days after I spoke to Sak, and Cinder and I had an argument over my theory about Bao. The other regular people we work with I was talking about here was Nano, from when she was working with Bao earlier in the year. I told artist number 1 that it wasn't a big deal they were working with her. Artist number 1 never knew my thoughts on Bao that were told to Nano in January. I was mad at Bao, but I wasn't planning to do anything about it. It was only when I went to ask Nano about exclusivity did I have the idea to include Bao's name as a way to get even with her.
The full-on confession here, but he had this idea to, they basically admitted a blacklist. He had the idea to include Bao's name as a way to get even with it. There we go. It's right there in black and white. Sacramore statement. Sacramore made this announcement about working exclusively with Bao. This was the same day as my Heaven Hound model debut. After I finished up 2 more comps for Peeps, I'll be shutting down my comps forever and editing anonymously in-house for Bao VTuber. Freelance has been fun and got to work with lots of really cool people, but I'm putting myself in Bao content
Red
as
is the master of self-destruct, a Voltorb.
Yes, a Voltorb. They had everything. They really had everything. They had a cool group of friends that loved each other, and I think they loved them too, but they let the brainworms eat away at everything. They had money, they had success, they had fame, they had a talented group of artists around them. Freelance has been fun, got to work with lots of really cool people, but I'm putting myself in Bao content as my only priorities for the future. I asked to be anonymous since I'd like to separate from being known as a freelancer.
As far as I was aware, Sak was already basically exclusive to Bao to the same degree our video editor was to us, if not more so. For him to do a complete 180 in under 2 weeks from Boss Rush's release was unbelievable to me.
Bro.
He put his exclusivity with Bao in writing, publicly, and asked to be completely anonymous without being credited going forward with no reason other than he wanted to. I just couldn't believe there wasn't more to it.
There is a reason.
I don't know if Sak ended up making any of his own content like he told me since this happened. Recently, Sak opened his commissions again and is apparently not working with Bao anymore. The very thing that sent me over the edge about Bao last December didn't seem to last. As far as I was aware, Sak was already basically exclusive to Bao to the same degree our video editor was to us, if not more so. For him to do a complete 180 in under 2 weeks.
I pasted it twice, but there is a reason though. The reason is that he wanted to be anonymous, so he wanted to separate himself from a freelancer, or people would keep on messaging him about it, and he wanted to do content creation. Good luck out there, gamer. Be free from the basement. So they're still on good term. He made it sound like he's not working with her anymore because she's difficult or something. Huge announcement. I'm opening up my video commission again. Availability for hire. MVs, highlight thumbnails, and portfolio works in the thread down below. DM for race and inquiries. Good luck out there, gamer. Be free from the basement. Thank you for everything over the last 2 years. I will truly cherish all of the memories, content we've made together.
Like was shown in Nano's section, artist number 1 wanted to discuss a permanent position with us, and suggested some kind of exclusivity for the work they did. Just like with Nano, Red handled any business-related discussions with them. This is where the idea to go to Nano about exclusivity came from.
Like, you know, people can lie. Like, plenty of people make it seem like they're on good terms even if they're not. Well, yeah, obviously, because in the entire document we saw that Red and Sinder lied repeatedly with evidence. However, you have no evidence to sustain this between Bao and Sak. Furthermore, Sak did respond there. If they aren't on good term, why would he respond? He doesn't even need to. He could like the tweet and no one else but Bao would see it. Like, why go this length? Not saying that there's a case, just saying there's a chance. Yeah, but there's a chance with everything in this doc. There's a chance that this is how like conspiracy theories thinks. There's a chance the sky falls tomorrow. There's a chance the word explode in 2 weeks. Yeah, there's also a chance that people aren't lying either. That's like saying nothing.
Artist number 1 messaged Red the morning after pitching their idea to him about our video editor, and then said they'd be willing to offer some kind of exclusivity due to competitiveness in the field. In the brief conversation Red and I had about it, we agreed that if we were going to pay them consistently for their work, like my video editor, we'd want to work at some kind of exclusivity with them. Sounds like someone canceling a Red, but he wrote it.
This is the screenshot from yesterday, isn't it? No, sorry. The artist is saying, for example, assuming it's redacted name, he can only edit for you and Bao or something. Red says, it is her name, and with him, it's kind of just a spoken agreement thing. We offered him to be exclusive, but he didn't take us up on it. But yeah, he's just us and Bao. I was asking because I had some time to think about our convo yesterday, reflecting on competitiveness in the field and staying at the top. And I thought that in the event we do work something out, I'd be willing to offer some sort of VTuber non-compete / exclusivity policy on some type I work to. So he wants an exclusivity fee for Sinder. He says this is something Sinder and I were thinking about, so we didn't get to talk about it much though. Next part. I'm putting this in the Nuru Juan. Did it work? Latex.
The next time Red and I talked about this, he said we should ask Nano for some kind of exclusivity too. Nano had suggested exclusivity to him in September, and talking to artist number 1 gave him the idea to ask her about it again. Red and I had agreed we should ask Nano to not accept any more brand new model clients, and to not make models or outfits for Silvervale anymore. Nano would have more time to work on my projects, and Silver wouldn't be able to get another model from Nano, and I wouldn't be compared to her if she chose to get a new one from someone else. Her artwork commissions and projects with her current model clients wouldn't be touched. As for the exclusivity with artist number 1, Red and I had only agreed that we wanted to have it for their work, and didn't talk about naming anyone to them. This was when Nano and Red made their exclusivity deal. I didn't know Red was planning to talk to her about it that day, or even knew he had until after they had already come to an agreement. Without my involvement, Red brought this up to Nano in their private DMs, and not in our project server chat where all 3 of us were. This quote from my apology refers to this deal I made. We had come to the conclusion that it'd be in my best interest to talk with Nano about making more time for my projects by negotiating with her to cut out other work. This was wrong for us to push onto her, and it was wrong to the other creators who wanted the chance of working with her. There was only one specific creator we were responsible for naming and pressuring Nano into reconsidering projects with, not an entire list. I should have said negotiating with her to take on less work. We were never thinking about asking her to cut out or cancel anything she already had planned. In Nano's and Bao's documents, this conversation was presented out of order and purposely left out information.
This conversation below is presented out of order in Nano's and Bao's document. This was the 2nd out of 4 total times with 3 different artists I had ever specifically asked anyone to not work with someone else, which are all presented in this document. In this instance, I was in negotiation for an exclusivity deal. Would you open to some kind of model exclusivity deal? This is the 2025 conversation. I don't mind taking it, just not sure how to make the deal fair. I have some ideas. I got some ideas, I guess. The main thing we're looking for is for you not to take on any brand new model clients and not to make any new model outfits with Silver again.
Red, What I told Nano we were looking for was exactly what Sinder and I agreed to, not taking on any brand new model clients, and not to make any more models or outfits with Silvervale. Existing model clients and artwork commissions wouldn't be affected. This was so Nano would have more time to focus on our projects, and was the only other time since November 2023 that I ever mentioned anything about the value of Nano's models. The more there were, I wanted to preserve the value of existing Nano models, like Sinder's, and the more models Nano accepted, the more recurring clients she'd have, meaning she'd have less time for any projects we may ask her to for. Models were the most time-consuming thing she did. We never considered including and cutting off any of Nano's existing model clients since many of them were our friends. Besides Silver, Sinder has always been supportive of anyone who's debuted a model by Nano.
Well, I think the main thing we're looking for you not to take on any brand new model clients to make any new model outfit for Silvervale again. You'd still be able to work on models outfit for all your other existing babies, and your artwork comms wouldn't be affected. So their defense here is that we didn't, well, Red mostly is like, Sinder didn't know, and I didn't push Nano to cancel Bao's model. I only pushed her to blacklist Silvervale.
I chose to include Bao's name to get even with her for what I thought she did to us, and I threw Cotton's name in there for hurting a friend, and because I knew she was on Nano's waitlist in the past.
So he did. Okay,
Neither of them
bad.
were ever discussed with Sinder, and Sinder strongly disagreed with what I thought about Bao, but if I was going to make a deal with Nano, then I wanted to try to include Bao at the very least. Including their names here was entirely on me. I didn't want them to be able to get a model from Nano, but I wasn't looking to have her cancel anything on anyone. I knew Nano didn't have anything lined up with Silver. The last time I heard she had Cotton down for a model was when she cancelled it in 2023, and I was under the impression that Bao moved on to another artist after Nano cancelled on her the first time in August, since that was the last time Nano mentioned it.
I really feel like I read this before. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, that's because it is. It's the exact same fucking paragraph. Scuffed ass dog, man. So my bad. It's worse than he did ask for Silver, Bao, and Cotton to be blacklisted, and his defense is just that Sinder didn't knew. And he also claims that his hesitancy and Nano's reassurance were both left out of Nano's and Bao's document.
What Red describes in Nano below was his incorrect theory about Bao making her editor Sakuramore go exclusive with her because of Boss Rush's music video he made. I knew he thought this way in December, but I never agreed with him, and he held it against her. I was completely unaware that any of this was told to Nano. I should have talked to Bao about it, but I never did.
Because none of this can leave our chat. I wanted to understand it better, especially if I cancel her for the second time. But what about the Numi, if I do the Numi and Shy Lily bit at the same time? Or is the Shy Lily one really long? Well, with Silver, she's given a lot of bias and priority at gamer sub, sometimes over Sinder, and we can really confront them about it. And that's the part where, and Cotton hurt one of our friends pretty bad, and I can't really say much about it, since that's not my drama to get into. So this is the part that was redacted from the initial screenshots, and then this part in yellow was also taken out, where she's, you know, she's like, I'd rather work with Sinder than Bao, don't worry, being Sinder's mom means a lot to me. And Red is like, well, we love working with you, Sinder wouldn't be Sinder without Nano. Okay, but like, let me tell you the tea about the NV thing. And then he shit talks Bao. Nano's, is this copy pasted from the previous section as well? Yes, it's word for word. The image of the chat from Nano's document, the message about Cotton edited out. All of a sudden he changed his mind and is only working about going forward, no explanation. And then she's like, oh shit, oh that's super weird. He's telling her all of his headcanon. Oh, it's literally it, lol. And then Red says, this really reads like a hostage note. Is this a duplicate too? Yeah, it is. Just want to make sure. Yeah, it is. Alright, this is duplicate 2. Well, at least I know if I ever revisit those notes that, like, I only have to check one of them and not both. I asked to be anonymous and select separate from being known as a freelancer. No one does this. No one decides to do this on their own. This was 2 weeks after Bus Rush came out. Yeah, it's just pretty weird, lol, Nanoless says. And now she's been barking up the tree of our L2D animator, so, like, and you and Nano model. Yeah, looking for Misan says for sure. It's so annoying. I don't know, man. Oh, he has a way of guilt tripping people to get her way. We can do a deal. Like, I'll cancel my model with Bao, like, forever. And I said, oh, we can do a deal. I'll cancel my model with Bao, like, forever. And then I suggest to pay for a model rigging and return below. Yes. Okay, this is another thing he does. And I said the same thing yesterday, but he makes it sound like he's had, like these things are disjointed. Like, she said, yes, she says that we can do a deal and I'll cancel my model with Bao, after you told her how Bao had like sabotaged them and was trying to screw Sinder's project, etc, etc. And this is the whole thing with the model rigging. This is the exact same bit as yesterday. So we already hashed this out. Yup, exact same paragraph 2. That one's good to go. The demon Sinder. This was... Okay, whatever. Okay, all of this bit is just copy pasted again. Alright. Okay, this is copy pasted 3 times. This is him saying that like he could have had the chance of blacklisting Bao here, but he didn't take it. No other thoughts on Silver Valorant, like what I told Nano. I didn't bother to bring up Cotton's name. Oh no, so he did blacklist Bao and Silver to these artists as well. Oh wow, okay. No, he did. Never mind. Even when I try to be charitable to Red, he proves me that he's the worst. My bad. Owuzu in a single person. The next day, artist number 1 sends Red a document that laid out everything in their agreement. Artist number 1 said a written agreement to go over. As far as I remember, there was a carve-out for both Silver and Bao. I didn't push for this to be changed. Regardless of what I said the night before, they were the clients already. And what is a carve-out? Does it mean it got removed from the contract, or there was a clause to blacklist them? What does that mean? This is also a duplicate of the Nano section. This feels like a Lord of the Ring book series, except Lord of the Ring is actually good, and the characters in it are likable. This is like when you need to write 5,000 words for your essay at school and you gotta pad it. Carve out means that there was an exception, so the opposite of whatever clause was being carved out. Okay, so it was... So they weren't blacklisted in this case. Nano cancelled the exclusivity deal she made with Fred about a month after it was made so she could work with Silver. The conversation with Fred wasn't included at all in Nano's document. Only my DMs with her. Nano faced no repercussion from either of us for going back on her word. I am sure that I read this sentence before. Why didn't Finder find it? Nani deska? Am I crazy? Okay, it's just that there's a little bit less words. Nano cancelled the exclusivity deal she made with Fred about a month after it was made so she could work with Silver. This conversation with Fred wasn't included at all in Nano's document. Only my DMs with her. Nano faced no repercussion from either of us for going back on her word. Sorry, editor, I read that part twice for some reason. This is another duplicate screenshot where basically... Nano is saying, I don't really care about Bao and Cotton, talking about, they're referring to doing their model. And this, in terms of public opinion, might be one of the most damning screenshots for Nano. That and the other one where she is like, I'm gonna fucking cancel all... I want a fee for canceling all these lists. And then she ends up canceling them anyway for nothing. There's no way this is all duplicates, right? This starts with Nano message me and ends with... It's against her like always. Okay, yeah, it is a duplicate. Quote from my apology. When Nano had messaged me about this agreement almost a month later, I was under the assumption this was only about Silvervale. I was upset and my initial message to her were very guilt-trippy, but I wasn't going to force Nano to do anything she wasn't okay with and try reassuring her that it was okay with the decision. Okay, they just copied the pages. Again, searching Bao and Cut, this is also the same. I remember very vividly. Oh, this is something new. Nice. I like that. Last message with Bao. These are the last messages in my DMs with Bao. Hi Pookie, I know you like Impractical Jokers. Some community members reference them. I think the whole cast got outed for talking to young girls or something. I just wanted to let you know in case you bring it up. And then Sinder says, yeah, I saw the Joe allegations a while ago and just spiraling. Oh no, I know you like the show. I'm so sorry, baby. Being a bad... Okay, maybe we'll make Juan read that part.
Being a bad friend, compromising with Red, and Boss Rush's role after our argument in December. Red and I didn't talk about Bao again until sometime after my Heaven Hound debut. He pressured me not to interact with her professionally anymore. I wasn't going to agree to that, but I didn't want this to cause problems between us at home. Bao was a friend that lived across the country. I only saw every few months, and already didn't do things often with. I lived with Red, so I chose to do just enough to keep the peace, finding a middle ground between us. I didn't plan anything with Bao one-on-one, which we already rarely did. I didn't trade her in the times I was able, and I didn't retweet artwork of us two together on my NSFW Twitter account. Red didn't want to include Bao in anything Boss Rush related either, including collabs.
Bro, he is so mean to Bao. Alright, and now this is Red's explanation. Playtext.
It was wrong of me to push my feelings about Cinder's friend onto her and expect her to essentially cut her off. Initially in December, I didn't want Cinder, the brand, to interact with Bao's at all. I didn't want Bao to be included in anything Boss Rush related either because I thought their music video was the motivation to make Sacco exclusive. I took what I thought happened as Bao acting against all three of the girls, not just Cinder. After my deal with Nano I considered us even, and by the time Nano walked her deal back I didn't care to find out if Bao's model was still cancelled. I wasn't angry at Bao anymore, just soured on her. I eased up on my feelings towards her with Cinder as months went by, but the way things had been was the way they stayed. I was eventually open to the idea of a 6-person Boss Rush song with all of Cinder's friends, including Bao.
Okay, Red you could have just summarized this in one sentence by saying you're petty and you're crazy.
It was in group activities with her and our friends that I still interacted with and collabed with Bao like always. I was one of the 6 of us that often took the initiative and tried planning things for all of us to do together. With friends like these, who needs enemies?
Yeah, for real. With friends like these, who needs enemies? Hey Cinder, I know it's a bit stressful dealing with girly pop sometimes when our schedule clash, etc. You put so much work into forming collabs and stuff. For Boss Rush and girly pop, it's probably a bit tiring. I want to say sorry about today. My goal is to always be there for my friends when they need and hopefully make it easier, not harder. Sorry again, have a good stream. Cinder responds, girl, you don't have to be sorry at all. I knew it would be a little challenging during holiday and flu season, but I'm not upset or anything. I'd much rather have everyone together when y'all are feeling good and don't have to worry about travel or other obligations. It's always so much fun hanging out, so I definitely don't mind rescheduling or doing different things with smaller groups. Rest up and feel better soon. I really appreciate you noticing. I want to do my best for us to have a good time.
I didn't talk to Bao outside of our friends group chats unless she messaged me first, but the same was already true for her before my disagreement with Red, and for almost all of my other friends for a long time, like I explained in the accountability section of this document. Besides our group chat, the exception to that was with Boss Rush. Since Boss Rush's inception in March 2024, I've gotten to be much closer friends with Tricky and Vienna than with other friends. After our first song premiered at the end of November, I chose to focus on doing more together with them. It was much easier to plan things between the 3 of us, rather than all 6 of us, because of everyone's conflicting schedules and other things they may have had going on. Boss Rush felt like our version of Bao, Numi, and Shy Lily's Bikini Bottoms group, making music, collabing together, and doing our own thing outside of plans with everyone. Been 12 months of hag loving you, Auntie Rima.
Thank you. Thank you,
This is why you don't have your partners or anyone you are personally involved with as a manager.
Yep.
And will bite you in the behind as a brand.
Oh yeah. And I have a friend that's a musical artist, and they just broke up with their partner who was their manager for 10 years, and it's such a mess having to find somebody else to delegate the contract. It's like really awkward at work right now. And also sometimes the relationship lasts longer than it should, even when it's not working anymore, because there's like a sunk cost fallacy and you're like, fuck, I need this, you know, it's my work too. It's like all becomes intertwined.
Because of this, Red and I felt like Yuzu was left out.
They're hags.
He had the idea early on that we'd like to eventually bring Yuzu into Boss Rush so she would be included in something too. This idea came before he ever had anything against Bao. These are all Red's messages in our Boss Rush group chat where he talked about the idea of Yuzu and a song we'd make with her. The first 2 messages are cropped because they're part of a long string of DMs that aren't relevant.
10 years all gone. Yeah, and the worst part of it is that, well, obviously, one of them is very popular because they're a public figure, and the other one is the person behind the scene. And then you split up all your friends, they're taking sides. So everybody is taking the side of the popular person, and then the other one just kind of gets, like, fucked. It was rough. They took it very roughly. Anyway, that was just a slight tangent. Considering this going on with the 3 of you, and looking like Numi, Bao, and Lily are doing their own music thing with Bikini Bottoms, Yuzu is kind of left out from any group project, so I reached out to her to see if she has any boss model designs coming up. But anyways, if you guys are down, we'd want to include her in the second song as an addition to the Boss Rush group, maybe in the first half of 2025. This is another message. The third song is the one I had the idea of bringing Yuzu on for more of a redacted word stone, like redacted word song. Just brainstorming ideas. Boss Rush 3, 4 with Yuzu for December. And here another DM. It'd be censored words with censored word skins, censored word song. I haven't figured out solid design plan, but maybe censored.
Anyone says no, red, and I take that personally.
And true, he is like that. Teams and possibility fit Yuzu.
When we would be looking for a fourth person for our Boss Rush collabs this year, Red would suggest Yuzu. Her being involved alongside Boss Rush would have led up to her being introduced in a new song. It'd be a hint to the fans the same way the frequent collabs between Tricky, Vienna, and I throughout last year were intended to be before Boss Rush debuted. But when I was cancelled, we still hadn't talked to Yuzu about joining Boss Rush or doing a song with us. There was only one collab between us four specifically in January, but I did end up playing through Split Fiction with Yuzu in March too. There were 5 Boss Rush collabs, and 5 girly pop collabs that included Bao. Since the start of 2025 and before April, in March, Bao asked me and our friends in our group chat about doing a group song together for the end of 2025 in December. I turned her down, but I would have been willing to do one next year. It wasn't because of Red, and it wasn't because I didn't want to. I had 6 to 7 music projects already lined up for this year, with one of the most important being Boss Rush's song with Yuzu projected for December already. I know it doesn't mean much without all the details of what they are, or who they were supposed to be with, but this was my music release schedule for this year when Bao asked.
So they're listing 7 projects that she was supposed to do.
The Boss Rush projects in August and December were planned to be much bigger endeavors, similar to the first song's launch. Boss Rush's song for October might have been pushed to 2026 to have more time for December's song, and that's what my focus was on. I didn't want Boss Rush's December release to conflict with the project Bao wanted to do together. I know the time investment needed to put music projects together and how difficult it is to get myself to record my own vocals sometimes. I didn't want to sacrifice the plans I already had for this year and commit to another song. Even Numi said no to Bao at first because of her own schedule. I was removed from this chat when the documents were posted, so I don't have screenshots of anything from it. With how much more I was doing and planning with mine and Bao's other friends within our same friend group, and because of how I was neglecting her, Bao felt isolated, also evident from her tweets in March.
My friends are busy, they do not hate me. My friends are busy, they do not hate me. My friends are busy, they do not hate me. My friends are busy, they do not hate me. That's after she got turned down for the Boss Rush thing. Or for her own music project. Feeling alone in a crowded room sucks so bad.
We still did things together as a big group, even though I chose to turn down the group song, and Numi never seemed to have a problem with a few of us doing things separately. But I understand how Bao must have felt. I wasn't including Bao in any of my own things, and when our friends had free time, it went towards our plans together. Without her, Numi said Bao confided in her about me and the way she thought I felt about her, but never did Bao try talking to me directly about how she felt. The same way I didn't talk to her about Red's feelings. I was neglectful of Bao and my friendship with her, and ignorant of how the things I did, and did without her, were making her feel. I stayed quiet and gave in to Red, hoping he would move on over time, never knowing what he did and said behind my back. I was an awful friend to Bao for months when she didn't deserve it.
Dude, poor Bao, man. She doesn't deserve any of this. Bao posted her document just 6 minutes after Nano posted hers at 1:48 EST. She had already removed Red and I as friends on Discord and blocked us both on Twitter. This is a message I sent to another close friend at the end of December. Ironically, I didn't have healthy communications with my friends. I couldn't open up to them or talk to them about difficult subjects. I never spoke to Bao about anything that was going on. In the next section, I go over how my lack of communication hurt Numi too. I love when friends have healthy communication. Ugh, it feels so good. Yeah, there was zero proof that Bao was mean in there. There was only proof that Red was mean. But I guess their section mostly focused on claiming that Sinder wasn't aware. Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.